Oh, so that was it the New York Times piece that we're a cult?
LA Times.
LA Times?
It's a big cult. 16 million plus.
60 million people cult.
It's got to be the biggest cult ever.
It might, yeah, well, is it the biggest cult ever? There are people on the left who believe that Christianity is a cult. So it's not the biggest cult ever. There you have 1 billion people in a cult from the left's perspective. The press is so dishonest. The achievements of this president are so remarkable. If there were a conservative press, we would just be smiles in this country. I want you to imagine a conservative New York Times, the conservative news network, CNN. Imagine that. Imagine you send your kid to a university. I mean, let's play John Lennon's game of Imagine. I imagine sending my kid to university and coming home and saying, you know, Mom and Dad, my professor emphasized the 5th of the 10 commandments, that I honor my mother and father, even though, you know, I've had issues with you, Mom and Dad, but nevertheless, there's no asterisk at that commandment, and I still may not agree with you on everything, but you're certainly going to get my honor as my parents. You know, Mom and Dad, I took a course in American history, and I realized this country is really exceptional. Everybody had slavery, but America fought a war to abolish it. And that's why more black Africans have come to America voluntarily as immigrants that came involuntarily as slaves. You know, Mom and Dad, I didn't know that till my professor of history showed me that. I have such a more positive view of this country. And of course, before class, as class started, we took the Pledge of Allegiance and then resumed our studies. Then I realized that, you know, I had a pretty radically secular upbringing, but America was really founded on what I now understand are Judeo-Christian principles. That even Jefferson, who was no Christian as such, made it clear that if there's no God, if the Creator doesn't give us our rights, then they're not inalienable. Men give rights, men take rights. God gives rights, they're permanent, they're fixed. Can you imagine that, my dear listener? Your kid coming home from college like that? You turn on the conservative news network, still called CNN. They tell you how good the economy is. They delineate the evil of Soleimani. It is an astonishing thing that we celebrated bin Laden's death, but we don't celebrate Soleimani's death.